Architectural services. So in this video we're going to focus on what is the first stage, appraisal and definition of your project. So what is that? And secondly, what can you expect from your architectural designer in this stage? Maybe you have this dream in your mind. You have either you want to build a house, or you want to do something commercial, or you have an interior project for your house or your shop. Doesn't matter. You have to start somewhere, even if it's just to get pen to paper to see if your project is viable, if you can do it. So this is the stage where you analyze that and see if it's possible. The goal of this video is to just inform you what you can expect of the process so that you're prepared, and then also the quality and the amount of work that you can expect from your professional designers. So it's a list of requirements that you need from them, and it's basically you want so many square meters. If you don't know that already, let's say you want a garage, but that garage needs 70 cabinets, whatever. This is how it should look. Just let your mind go on what you want. So, and secondly, part of the brief is also you have a meeting with your designer and you get a sense of each other firstly, and the designer get to know you and your personality a bit more. So for instance, we had a client, and during this briefing meeting she told us that while she was sitting there with her husband, that she gets so frustrated that, and vice versa, her husband as well, that he works extremely late hours, but when he comes in, he switches on the light, he gets ready for bed, and she's wide awake. And that caused some struggle between them. And it sounds simple, but I mean, that is why you design something, specifically for your situation and your personality. Anyway, the solution for this was we designed the master suite, that firstly you walk, get dressed in the dressing room, master suite, bathroom, and then lastly, and he can have all the lights on. I mean, you don't want to be, he can move around and be comfortable in his own space as well. And then lastly, he can switch everything off and join his wife where it's nice and quiet and tranquil, and he can also switch off himself and relax as well. So like I said, for someone it sounds that's not a big deal, but for them it was extremely important. And during this stage, don't be afraid to tell your designer, listen, this bothers me in my current house, this is what I really would like, and they will focus on that when they design it for you. So be open, don't be shy to share your life with them, because that will ensure that you get the house that you really want and need. Secondly, they will advise you on the rights and constraints of your site. This is where you will discuss the zoning certificate, building lines, the title deed, any restrictions that will be on your stand. You will analyze every single project on its own, whether it needs a demolition application. Do you need to submit to the heritage of Prague? Please bear with me. It's the Provincial Heritage Resource Authority. There you go. So whether you need to submit to that, it's normally houses that's older than 60 years, just to give you a rule of thumb. Homeowners Association, that is so important. And when you buy a stand, like the overall design of this estate. Don't try to change it or change the design after you've bought the house or the stand. HOAs don't like you to adapt their guidelines. They have strict rules, so make sure that you find their guidelines before you buy the stand. So you have to submit to them as well. Any additional submissions you will analyze during this stage. Fourth, budget. Be honest with your designer. If there's a budget constraint, tell them early on, listen, this is what the budget is, and your designer will also help you and guide you what the estimated amount is. Remember, this is still very early on in the design process and it can still vary significantly, but you can still see if you can do the project or not. What can you expect from this stage? Each company is different. This is just a guideline and what we normally do, and it also depends on the scale of the project. But we meet with the client, get to know them. So there's one initial meeting. We sit with them, prepare the brief, a bubble diagram, and we discuss what they want out of the project. It's just a nice, comfortable meeting. From there, we obtain all the technical information, analyze everything, and give a report to the client and say, listen, after our discussion we found that this and this is possible. Yes, it's within the guidelines. No, it's not. This is what we need to do. So I honestly hope this clarifies a lot, but mostly don't stress about the process. Your architectural professional should guide you through everything, and I hope you enjoy the building process.